Hey guys, it's really nice to be here with you today. It's feeling to me that we're kind of moving into a lot of density right now. Um, really having to kind of face ourselves, like coming into the center of ourselves is how it feels. And there's a lot of appreciation for that over here. It's like, oh yeah, I get to meet the depths of me. It's like finding a yumminess in the density, like the yumminess in in the center of the heart. And so, um, notice that if life is bringing you right into the middle of yourself, and what a blessing that is. And to be able to live from your center is quite remarkable. We spend a lot of time just getting pulled from our center, living this way and that, living through this conditioned idea, living through this projection of what we think will make us happy. And actually the pathway to coming right into the center of yourself is realizing that nothing you want will actually give you lasting happiness. And there's a mourning there. That's a death. That's the death of an old self, of an identity. This identity that was convinced that that person or that job or that amount of success and achievement would make it happy forever. And so we think there's this idea that it is a beautiful thing, but there's also a grief in it, letting go of something we were so intertwined with and convinced of being true. And so this is a time where identities might be falling. And these identities, they served us for a while, right? And a greater sovereignty is born. Like you're going to be more sovereign to really follow your highest light, because you're not hooked into these identities that were convinced that their happiness was to be found through their projections. Whatever that projection was, common ones are, the perfect partner, money, success. And a lot of times we chase those things because we're afraid to discover what's in the center of our being. It's like, I'm going to go get successful so I don't have to feel the shame that's living within me. I'm going to go find that perfect person so that I can feel validated and whole, so I don't have to go into the parts of me that feel incomplete, that feel lack. But the beautiful thing is when you go for those projections, even if you get what you were thinking would make you happy, they just amplify your sense of inner lack. They just bring up that sense of incompleteness even more. And so anytime you even follow those projections, they all paths lead you back into the center of your being at the end of the day. So if you're chasing something, let yourself chase it. Notice you're chasing it. This is not a video to stop chasing unless that feels true and that you're able to. It could be a video to say stop chasing. Kind of a wake up there. But if you're chasing and you can't help it, notice that. Notice how big of a pull that identity has on you. The identity that says your happiness is in that person, in that amount of success, etc. Or in that place. We must go there to be happy. And sometimes the divine does guide us to certain places. But a lot of times it's our mind is like pulling us. When we're not happy within ourselves, when we're not wanting to meet what's in the center of our being, it's easy to get pulled into like, okay, if I go over there and get that person to like me, or if I get that amount of money or whatever the story is, then I'll feel better. Then I won't have to be feeling what I'm feeling now. Yeah, but eventually there's no more juice to that stuff anymore. They're seen through. And it's not a problem anymore either. Like the one who wants to go chase, you notice it. You notice that energy. You're like, oh, wow, look at that. It's a curiosity now. You get to a point where you're not trying to get rid of anything anymore. Nothing's a problem. Even the parts of you that are convinced your happiness is somewhere other than within you, that's okay too. Because once you see that part and you see it for what it is, its time is kind of very limited. It's on its way out. It's falling away. And more, there's this depth of appreciation for this, what's in the center of you. And you just want to be there. You love being there. You love alchemy. You've fallen in love with density. That's because it's you. It's you. There's not this separate self anymore that's saying, I want to go over there where there's these other states. Actually, the highest state there is falling in love with everything that you are. And that's like an ever-present and everlasting inner state that isn't touched by whether those identities within you are getting what they want or not. And you watch those identities have their play, have their dance. It's fine. But it's just a complete scene through that even if they obtain what they want, they won't be fulfilled because they can't be fulfilled because those identities birthed from lack. So innately, they cannot be fulfilled. And you just start to see that. And that seeing actually helps you come into a deeper rest within yourself. And that seeing makes chasing those things less interesting. And those identities, they don't have a pull on you anymore. They're, like I said, they're just noticed. They're loved even. You smile at them. You see their innocence. It's fine. And life still happens, you know? Life still happens. But it happens from the center of your being. And that is the best feeling there is. Even if there's density and shame and horror in the center of you. The identities that said those things are bad have dissolved enough now to where it's all just love, actually. It's all just peace. And that's freedom, that's sovereignty. Now you're free to be with what is, and you don't have to chase things to escape yourself. It gets very simple, but also very full, very rich. So that's the offering today. Thanks for being here. I love you all so much. Namaste.